And here's the beautiful thing about those heroes. That was probably the most uncomfortable, annoying 30 seconds of their life. Right? They don't want recognition. They don't want to be looked at. They don't want to be honored. They don't want to talk about what they did. They don't want to talk about what they saw. It's the beautiful thing about those who served this country. You've heard me say this before. You may not have liked John McCain. Genuine hero, correct? He may not have got your wheels going 3 or 4 years ago when he ran against Barack Obama. But understand something about John McCain. His political advisors, day after day, had to take him and almost throw him against a wall and hit him against the head and say, "Senator, you have to let people know you served. You have to talk about what you did." He didn't want to do it. Wouldn't do it. Day after day, they had to convince him. And finally, he talked a little bit about it. But it was very uncomfortable for him. That's what's so noble about our heroes. Now, I'm running against a woman who, I mean, my God, that's all she talks about. Our true heroes, the men and women who served us, it's the last thing in the world they talk about. That's why we are so indebted and in awe of what they have done. I want to thank everybody for coming out. We're going to lock that door in about 5 minutes, and we're here for the next 4.5 hours. No, you haven't seen Anthony. I'm serious. Oh, there he is. I will be here. Come on up, guys. Come sit, come stand, come do whatever you'd like. I will be here for as long as folks want to be here today. Before we get started, let me say what I always have to say at the beginnings of these things. I've got one rule at my town halls, and there isn't a member of Congress that's done this more than me, Republican or Democrat. And they're pretty laissez-faire, open deals, right? Because that's how I am. I'm a pretty laissez-faire, open kind of a guy. We've got one rule. And I don't care how big the crowd or how small the crowd, you got to abide by this. It's one word, young and old. It's called respect. Now, I have a feeling, high five. I have a feeling I know what's brought you all out today. I have a feeling we're all pretty riled up and impassioned. I hope that, like every one of my town halls, this is open to everybody, and we got all kinds of viewpoints in here, and you had better, no matter how inflamed your passions are right now, no matter how riled up you might feel right now, this will not work unless we respect every opinion in this room. That's the only rule. Look, you can ask me anything. Personal. Lord knows I answer a lot of those. Political, policy. You can ask me anything. Try to do it with respect. Most importantly, treat each other with respect. I've said this before. I do not believe November 6th is just an election. Ain't no way. No way. I hope and pray every day that as a people, we're up to the challenge of November 6th. And that doesn't mean I hope the whole country votes for Mitt Romney and Joe Walsh. God, no. That might be nice, though. Think about that. Wouldn't that be nice if I had a really easy race? No, what I mean is that I hope, come on up, sir. I hope and pray that people go to the voting booths on November 6th and they say, I'm going to vote for Walsh or I'm going to vote for Duckworth because we're not working, the economy's not growing, our healthcare system is a mess, and as a country we're broke. And I want to know Walsh and Duckworth. I want to know Romney and Obama. What are you going to do about that? I don't care about these other things. I don't care what your religion is. I don't care what you did 7 months ago, 7 years ago. Right now, this country I love, we're not working. Come on up, ma'am. High five. See, everybody thinks I just high-five the little guys. No. I'm a big high-fiver. This is what this election has to be about. Tammy Duckworth's going to want to talk about other things. Barack Obama's going to want to talk about other things. This election's about the fact that we're not working. We're losing our homes. We're not growing. This economy out there is not growing. And most tragically, we are so broke you can't even imagine. Be respectful. But based on what happened this last week in Washington, I will continue to be respectful. And this might sound odd, but the chains are coming off of Walsh. I'm going to start speaking my mind now. Be respectful, but you got 4 months to save this thing. I said a couple of years ago, Obamacare was the most important issue in the year 2010. Obamacare was the most important issue in this country in the year 2010. John Roberts, the Supreme Court, just made it the issue in 2012. Just made it the issue in 2012. They shouldn't have had to do that for us. I'll start at the top. This is not just an election. There are two huge viewpoints at war with each other right now. Two strongly held visions. One vision is going to win. I'll get to the visions in a minute. One vision is going to win. What we do in November is going to determine, it's going to determine the kind of country this is. Most importantly, it's going to determine the country future generations are going to grow up in. And the beauty about Obamacare, is it's got it all right there in one issue. One issue. Jobs. Obamacare is all about jobs. The economy, the debt, our health care. No bigger issue than our health care and our freedoms. All wrapped up in one issue. How perfect. Now, for those of you who are disappointed in last week's ruling, take this away, though. How much was Tammy Duckworth talking about Obamacare before last Thursday? None. How much was President Obama talking about Obamacare before last Thursday? Nada. Can't do it anymore. He can't do it anymore. She can't do it. Every Democrat running for office now has to defend it. I always thought it was so odd. This drove me up a tree. This president just gave us the single largest piece of health care legislation since the passage of Medicare and Medicaid in the 60s. His largest achievement. And for 3 years, we haven't been able to get him to talk about it. It just always struck me as so darn odd. No longer. He can't do it anymore. and every Democrat running with them, and here's Tammy. Tammy's got all her cameras filming me. Hey, everybody. They can't escape it anymore. Tammy Duckworth may want to spend this afternoon with the other Joe Walsh, but she can't run away now from Obamacare. Simply, young and old, come on up. Come sit up on the stage. If you sit up on the stage, I may have you speak for a while. I know you will. Here's the deal, guys, and then I'm going to wrap up. I got 2 more minutes, and I usually don't talk this long. I'm this close to calling security. This close. You know, I've said some things for a couple years now that, and people have said, oh, that's just Walsh talking. He's pretty outspoken. This country was founded upon freedom. And that very idea of freedom that this country was founded upon, we are about to lose. Let me be a little bit more frightening. We're losing. We've been losing for over 100-some years. And it's really easy to go after Obama because he symbolizes the antithesis of what this country was founded upon. But Republicans and Democrats for years have taken us away from that thing. It's not hard to understand why. All our politicians want to do, folks, is get reelected. For year after year, election after election, Republican and Democrat, all they want to do is get reelected. To get reelected, they keep promising you things, and we keep nodding our head. And year after year, election after election, we keep growing this thing called government because they've kept promising us goodies, we've kept accepting, and lo and behold, now we sit in the year 2012, and we are about to fall off of a cliff because we have no money left. And most tragically now, we have so many Americans dependent upon government. We have so many Americans who have no idea of what this country was founded upon. A really simple, beautiful notion that you live your life, you raise your family, you try to make a buck, and by golly, when you make that dollar, most of that dollar is yours. Come on up, sir. I don't know, pick a number. Even our founder said we need a little bitty piece of government, right? So that dollar you make, I'm going to keep 94 cents of it somewhere in there. It's my money. It's my money to do with as I please, to raise my family, take care of my parents as they age, start a business, grow a business, and all I want my government to do, sort of stay out of the way, and if anybody gets in the way of me living my free life, government comes in to protect my freedoms. Keith Olbermann. Anybody know who Keith Olbermann is? Oh my God. He was on George Stephanopoulos this morning. What did they let him on for? He said it's the job of government to protect Americans, to protect us. Don't laugh. This is where a lot of Americans think this. It's not the role of government to do anything but stay out of the way and to make sure that my God-given freedoms don't get trampled upon. That's but remember, guys, the trade-off in the beginning. If God's gonna give you all that freedom and we keep government out of the way, you know what? You're responsible for your life. You're paying. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're responsible for your kids.